Hi, it's Jacob here, and in this short quick tip about Tinkercad, I'm going to show you how you can group together objects and then duplicate them to save a ton of time when you're creating more complex builds. Here I've got a single disk on my floor, and I want to make a column to make a big building like the Pantheon or a Roman temple perhaps. So I want to make one column with a bit more detail, and then I want to group it and make multiple copies. So I'm just going to grab a couple more shapes to make this look a little bit more like a column. And actually what I can do is copy and paste the one I've got there already. So if I tap onto my existing shape, at the top here on the toolbar I can either copy and paste, or I can press duplicate and make a new copy straight away. At this point I'll just quickly resize it and position it where I want it to go. I went over this in my first Tinkercad video, so do check that out if you're not sure how this is all working. But you can see that I'm starting to build up the shape of a column here. As I make this, I'm going to use the alignment feature on the top toolbar, which lets you align the different objects to different axes. I'm going to align mine to the center of the X and the Y axes, which means that the disks will be stacked perfectly in my column. The final thing to do is to add one tool column post itself. I'll get one more cylinder here and stretch it out. And I want to align 3 objects together now. All I need to do is tap onto each of them in order, and it will automatically highlight multiple objects for me. So now I can press the alignment button, and I can align it just like before with all 3 objects. And actually, while they're all selected, it makes sense to group them together at this stage as well, and I can do that using the button here. Once it's grouped, you can then move, resize, and scale that particular object because it's now one item. I can ungroup it later if I need to, but for now having it as one unit is perfect. Let's position it off to the side of my work plane, and then we're going to press duplicate at the top to make a second column. Right now it's placed that column in the exact same space as my first one, so I need to move it sideways by just dragging and dropping it like this. Now I've done that, I've got 2 columns, and I can show you one of my favourite features in Tinkercad. It's really quite clever. If I then duplicate my column again, it's automatically predicted where I want it to go. It's looked at my previous 2, and it's realised I probably want the next one in an order. If I don't, I can of course move it, but now I can just press duplicate again, and again, and again, and it's positioned those columns perfectly for me. And then if I want to move all 5 columns in one go, I can simply tap and select them in sequence, and now when all 5 are selected, I can just drag and drop them. Of course I could group them together again if I wanted to. I could duplicate them here and have 10 columns, whatever I like. The final thing to do for me is to put a block on the top of this, and then to stretch it across all of my columns. Then I've got the basis of my building, which is going to be really exciting. And so that's a quick guide to grouping and duplicating objects in Tinkercad. I've made a playlist of other quick tips for Tinkercad, so do check that out. I cover augmented reality, I cover the scribble tool, using holes, lots of different things. So jump on the link at the end now, and I'll see you soon in another Tinkercad quick tip.